Hey guys, hey, how's it going? It's been a while since I've actually made a full video. Just been doing some streaming and I was busy working on Zach's unicorn contest. I'm sure everybody's seen the videos for that now. Everybody did a really good job. Um, and yeah, I think it was a great little show of talent and it was nice to see as many people apply or yeah, I guess that's how you would say it. Anyhow, so what I'm doing today is I've got this Kimaris Trooper kit that was I got this early in the year, and it was the third or fourth kit that I started to put some paint on. I do like the Iron-Blooded Orphans kits, the 1/100, the no grade, the full mechanics sets for their little details. They paint up really nice, and they end up looking really good. But when I did this particular kit, I was still learning how to use my airbrush at the time and experimenting with shading techniques and just kind of like the general mechanics of the brush. And so some of the armor, like the white armor, has come out a little fishy in areas. Um, and I wanted to go back into it. Some of it's too thin and it like scraped off of the edges. Um, This is just a appreciated piece that got a white coat on top. I don't really like it. The gray has come out really shallow in a lot of the pieces, and I wanted it to look more dynamic. But there's a bunch of parts that I do think are good, and I'm not going to touch. The painting of the inner frame, the painting of the majority of the lavender purple armor, I feel really good about. The eyes on this particular piece are really good. You can't really see it through my webcam for whatever reason. It's not agreeing with me today. And then the legs, the hoses on the back, I really like the way that those came out, so I'm not going to touch really any of that stuff. I like the dry brushing, I like the metallics. I'm going to touch up the metallics a little bit because they are a little spotty, but so majority of the inner frame components, this is all going to stay as is, but pieces where, like, say this is part of the front skirt armor, and it's just heavy on the shade, and you can't really tell too much of a difference between the gray part and the white part when it's all together next to, like, say here, next to that. It gets a little bit muddy when looking at it, and I want it to be a little more dynamic. I want the grays to be a little more punchy. It's a little bit thin. Like I said, I was still just learning how to use my airbrush at the time. Now I've got a lot more skill with it. So I feel like I can go back and give this cool kit the kind of treatment that it deserves. It's a little manipulator arm here. On screen, on screen. But as you can see, like the whites, they don't match at all because when I painted this kit, I painted it all separate and then I assembled it. And of course, like, you're gonna have serious two-tone issues if you're not painting everything together and your quality control is kind of sloppy. So my quality control was sloppy. Anyways, I'm gonna go in, show some snippets of that. I think I'm actually going to go in and I'm on the fence, but I think I'm going to go and reprime almost all of this stuff and then do it all over from the beginning. I've been using a newer kind of paint. I used it on the Kshatriya, and I've been really liking it. It's the Ammo by MIG. I get these at my hobby shop in Sunset Park, Rio Young Hobby Shop. They have an online store. You can pick up stuff on there if you're interested in checking out their supply of these things. If you're in the area, it's a local shipping. So if you're concerned about things taking a month to get to you or however long, you can buy stuff from your local hobby shop online potentially. But these guys are great. I picked up this is a violet and a purple. It shows up. This looks blue. The color balance on my feed must be kind of gross. And this purple is actually a little bit more red than it shows up here in the. If I turn my other light, did nothing. Okay. But yeah, they have a huge selection of colors, and most of them have, or a lot of them have RAL numbers, so you can match a color to like a specific, like a powder coat or a specific color of paint that you know, it's like a standardized system. They all have the little ball bearing in them. These are acrylics. Of course, it says right on acrylic. Um, they're great for brushing, and they work really, really well. They're really easy to lay down with an airbrush. A lot of people talk about them. Link and of course Mike Wolf, Old Fox, the model making guru, talk a lot about MIG being quality stuff, and of course himself. So I had another thing that happened when I was painting this kit that I didn't even think to talk about until just now. And when I painted the shield component, I stripped this, but when I painted the shield and I painted the lance, um, and this underskirt, which still has a little bit of the, you can still kind of see a little bit of the hue on it, and you can see some of the metallics that are still left on there, the dry brushing in here, and then inside the main vent itself. But so when I painted these, for whatever reason, the mix of paint that I used didn't cure, and I let it dry for days and days and days. And here we go. You can see a little bit of it on the end of that. I didn't realize it was still there. There, I don't know if you can see. Yeah, you can kind of see that in the light. It's a little bit blue purple. So I was using a mix of, I think it was using a mix of Createx and Media and potentially the Model Air by Vallejo, and for whatever reason, the mix that I used didn't cure. The purple blue color, the blue color at all didn't cure. It was tacky I painted this kit in, I want to say April, and it was still tacky until a week ago when I pulled the paint off, and I was able to just wipe it off with airbrush cleaner. So it was hadn't cured at all. It was just nasty and getting nastier. So I wanted to go back, reprime these components, fill in a couple seams. I had left a little bit of seaming, and redo them, get them proper. So with that said, I'm gonna get started masking in paint.